Sophie was a bright, creative, and thoughtful 15-year-old. On the outside, everything seemed perfect. She had good grades, was active in her school's drama club, and had a group of friends who cared about her. But inside, Sophie felt a deep sense of loneliness that she couldn't quite explain. At first, Sophie thought it was just a phase. She told herself that everyone felt a bit lonely sometimes. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the feeling only grew stronger. She started withdrawing from her friends, preferring to spend time alone in her room. The once vibrant conversations she had with her family became short and distant. Sophie didn't understand why she felt this way. Her friends were great, her family was supportive, and she was doing well in school. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling of being isolated. She was trapped in an invisible bubble that no one else could see. She wanted to reach out, but every time she tried, the words got stuck in her throat. She feared that her friends and family wouldn't understand, or worse, that they'd think she was overreacting. One day, while scrolling through social media, Sophie came across a post from a classmate, Tisha. The post talked about feeling lonely despite being surrounded by people. Tisha expressed how hard it was to talk about these feelings, fearing that others might not understand. Sophie was surprised. She had always seen Tisha as someone who was confident and outgoing, someone who had everything figured out. To see her express such vulnerability made Sophie realize that she wasn't alone in feeling this way. The next day at school, Sophie gathered her courage and approached Tisha during lunch. "Hey, I saw your post last night," she started, her voice shaky. "I didn't know you felt that way. I've been feeling the same for a while now." Tisha looked at her with surprise, then relief. "Really? I thought I was the only one," she said. They started talking, and for the first time in months, Sophie felt understood. They shared their experiences, their fears, and their struggles. It was a heavy conversation, but by the end of it, Sophie felt a weight lift off her shoulders. After that conversation, Sophie felt a renewed sense of hope. That evening, she sat down with her parents. "I need to talk to you about something important," she said. Her parents listened intently as Sophie explained how she'd been feeling. It was hard for her to open up, but as she spoke, she noticed the concern and love in their eyes. They didn't judge her or tell her she was being silly. Instead, they offered support and reassured her that they were there for her. Sophie's parents suggested seeing a counselor, and though she was hesitant at first, Sophie agreed. With time, therapy helped her understand her feelings better and equipped her with tools to cope with her loneliness. As Sophie began to open up more, she realized that many of her friends had also felt lonely at some point. By sharing her own experiences, Sophie created a safe space for others to talk about their feelings. Her friendships deepened, and she no longer felt like she was trapped in that invisible bubble. Sophie learned that loneliness wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was a signal that she needed to reach out and connect with others, even when it was hard. She discovered that talking to her peers and family about her struggles was the first step toward healing. In the end, Sophie's loneliness became a bridge that connected her to others rather than a wall that kept her isolated.
The story of Sophie highlights the importance of communication in overcoming loneliness. Teens often feel isolated because they think they're the only ones experiencing certain emotions. But the truth is, many people around them are going through similar feelings. Here are some steps that teens can take to address loneliness.
Talk to someone you trust. Whether it's a friend, family member, or counselor, talking about your feelings can help alleviate the burden of loneliness. It might be scary at first, but opening up is the first step toward feeling understood and supported.
Join clubs or activities. Engaging in activities that interest you can help you meet people with similar passions. Shared experiences can lead to meaningful connections and friendships. Listen and share. When you feel comfortable, share your feelings with others and listen to theirs. You might find that you're not alone in your experiences. Limit social media. Sometimes, social media can make loneliness worse by creating unrealistic standards of connection and happiness. Taking a break or limiting your time on these platforms can help you focus on real-life interactions. Seek professional help. If loneliness feels overwhelming, talking to a counselor or therapist can provide you with strategies to cope and improve your mental health. Remember, you are not alone in your journey. All you need to do is open up.